Welcome back, everybody. I'm Jehovah, and this is another episode of Ostriv. So, in the last episode, we started our little town, got our stuff together. You can see my fields are coming along great. We've got 3 of these fields being planted with potatoes, and we got 3 of them that are just sitting there fallow so that we can get some good crop rotation. The town center is almost built in the background here, and we are just... Oh, you know what? The reason that hasn't gone away is because I have more than 500 nails. Well, okay. How do you feel about 1,000? Because I want to get that thing away. Okay. Great. So in this episode, I think what we'll do is, first of all, we need to get this food stabilized, this food situation, and then we'll start bringing in a few more people into the town. All right, so you can see back there in the background, my town hall has been constructed. If you open this guy up, that's the mayor. I'm not even going to pronounce these names because I'm not going to do them justice. But you see we have 2 tabs here. One is population, so we can see exactly the wealth distribution. And so what we're looking at here is, you know, this many people live between $20 and $40. I'm going to call that dollars, and then this is 40 to 100, so it's pretty evenly spaced. You can see that my employment is just above 70%, so I've got plenty of laborers. These are my laborers out here. I guess these are active laborers, and these are the unemployed at this point. 18 adults, 13 working, 0 laborers at this point. So yeah, that yellow was laborers. I don't have any food or anything yet. If I go to my economy tab, this is where I can see things like what I actually have in stock here, plus what the basic monthly wages are, what people pay for different goods that they buy from me, and then I can see what I've made and then what I'm spending. And you can see right now I'm just hemorrhaging money at this point because I don't have anything to sell yet to an outside source. We'll get to that. But the rent is only $15.37 last month. It's already gone up a little bit this year. And you can see that the salary is what's really biting into me. But that's always going to be an issue because you got to keep people working and they're going to make a salary. And they need that salary in order to purchase things that they give me through their labor. This is communism. I mean, there's no better way to say it. This is communism where the people work for the state, they give over all of their goods, and then they buy them back from the government. I mean, that's pretty much it, and the government is controlling everything. So I'm not one of those people that think an economic structure is a religion, so I'm not so put off by that like some people are. But yeah, that's kind of what we're dealing with. So you got to get your head wrapped around that because it's so different from the way Americans think about things in capitalism, right? So it's really not a free market. It's controlled by the central government, by this guy here, Balada. Yeah, so he's going to work way out there. He look at that commie bastard. He's out there hanging by himself, man. Doesn't even want to hang out with the people. I'll tell you what. All right, now here's the deal. This is the test. See, my people on the farm, they're going out here, they're working, and they're starting to pick these crops, and they're leaving these little buckets behind, and that's my crop. And then they're going to take that, and they're going to take it into the farm, and it's going to be distributed. These are my potatoes. So here's the question. I've got 6 people working at this farm. You see I got a couple laborers helping them. Am I going to be able to harvest this whole field and collect all of these resources and put them back into the farm before the end of the year? Because if you put too many farms, you'll leave this stuff laying out in the middle of the field, and I don't want that to happen. So the reason I lay it out this way is so that I can guarantee that I can do that. I've got a feeling, I don't know for sure yet, that I could actually do 4 of these in a season. So right now I've got 6, so that's 3 and 3. I think I could add another one on each side of this, and we could actually cover 4 of these small fields or 2 full-size fields with 1 farm. But we'll see. And again, because I've never, I could hire laborers for all of this. I just don't really have enough laborers to do that. And historically, playing the game, I'm going to run out of them. So it's pretty important to me that we that we get this part right. So it's August. I think we're going to have plenty of time. These fields are almost completely harvested at this point. So yeah, we'll get through this year, but I think I'm going to end up adding another field to each side of this. So that's pretty sweet. Yeah, you can see already we've got laborers coming in there, or some of these farmers coming in there and grabbing this and already putting it in. And you can see I've already stored 1.84, 2 point something. And now, if you go to this guy, people are reserving potatoes. They want to have some food, and she's going to be able to bring it in there. Now, another thing I'd like to build is a granary. So I'll put that granary right here. I'm not looking at the right place, am I? Granary right there. And so I will rotate this person, and I'll put them right by this farm. Whoop. As close as I can. There you go. And then whenever the food comes into the farm, the granary worker will grab it out of the farm and put it into the granary. And that way I don't fill the farm up. I don't think that'll be a problem early game. It's probably a little too early for this, but I'm going to put a windmill out here. So I just wanted to go ahead and get it placed. Another thing I didn't mention at first either, you notice I'm not throwing down any roads. See how it just carves this all out of the ground? So the more people walk in a certain path, the more worn out the ground gets. So it creates its own road system, which I think is brilliant. It's one of the coolest things about this game, that you don't have to build roads. It'd be cool if you could, and I think they're working on that. But I really like this aspect. You see, people don't walk here as much, so it's a little bit more faded than the rest of it. But yeah, look at this. I don't think we're going to have any problem with 3 of them. Man, we might even be able to do more than 4. That's crazy. Pretty cool. Like I said, in my last game I played, I really struggled with this. So that's why I came up with this style of farm. Because I don't want to leave anything on the field, It's just wasted work. Yeah, that's what I suspected. I mean, it's not even the middle of October, and I've already opened that all the way up. That is really nice. So yeah, I can at least do one more. But, we got a pretty good load out of that. 38 potatoes there. So, I mean, that should get us through. I think what I'm going to do now is build a couple more houses. Let's get some more workers in here. So we'll rotate this guy around. We'll extend this neighborhood out a little bit. And see, that's going to change the road. Let's go ahead and build this other one here. There we go. Blammo. So now we got 2 more houses, and that means we'll get more people. Because right now we have 24 people living in the town. And I've got room for, at least 13 jobs for men. And those jobs are going to start coming around, too. I know it seems like I'm pretty heavy on the women jobs now, but there are just so few jobs women can do. I got to make sure that they take all of those jobs so that we don't just have a bunch of women standing around getting too bored, right? See, the granary is just about to come up. So we will go to the hiring options, no men, and you can carry your resources any way you like. You can store wheat and sunflower, and go ahead and hire 1 person for that. All right, so everything is coming up Millhouse. It might be a little early for this, but I'm feeling a little froggy. I think I'm going to go ahead and build this windmill. So I'll build the windmill right here. And so now what I'm going to do is go in here, and instead of going to fallow next season, I'm going to go to wheat on all of these. Okay. And then these are potatoes. So after the potatoes is going to be wheat for these. Wheat. And then after the wheat is going to be fallow. And I'm going to make another field out here. I don't know how many the maximum is for this. Haven't really run into that before. Okay, so there's 1 there. I think I'm going to go 2 out here, actually. Oh, man, it really messes up my... Oh, yeah. I can't do that because it'll screw with my brain because of the way the rotations work. Okay, so this one was potato, wheat, and this always messes me up. But it's going to be wheat, fallow, and then potato. And then this one is going to be potato, wheat, and fallow. I think that's right. Because it's currently this one. It's going to skip over to that one. It's currently this one. Oh, man. I screwed that up, didn't I? Yeah, so I need to be... See, I never know. Because there's a good chance that these are going to get screwed up. Because I'm currently on wheat. And that's currently on wheat. That's currently on potato. That's currently on potato. Yeah, so I've got it right. See how it goes yellow like that? That's the current crop. So that means this is going to be potato. Yeah, and this is going to be wheat, 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 and wheat. All right, excellent. So we just built a house. And you can see that people are moved in. They're both unemployed, but they brought some stuff with them, so that's cool. And there they are right there, coming into town. So they come in this way. So you're going to see them drive their little horse and buggy into the house. Boom, there they go. They now live in town, and they're both laborers immediately. So far, so good. And winter has arrived. You can see we're running out of money. So what we have to do is think about building a trade center. Now, the trade center, it's one of those things where you really need to have something to trade. And the easiest thing to trade early is wheat and potatoes. So we've got to have enough of that stuff in order to keep our population alive and still have enough to be able to trade. So let's go ahead and get through the winter and get this wheat production started before we get ahead of ourselves. All right, so we have completed construction of the windmill, but I'm not going to put anybody in there yet. Not necessary. But you can see it's only a job for men. I'm going to tell them they can bring their stuff here any way they want to. But I don't really see any need for it because if you look at my population, everybody's doing pretty good. If I go to... I mean, look at that. I mean, most of my people are above 40. So everybody's doing pretty good. You can see that's 52. So you can see the population of these families. They're all doing great. Hardest thing is... right now is there's enough food, but I'm asking one little worker to do it all. So, you know, since I have none and none here, I'm actually going to put another potato slot. And I think that will get more potatoes being delivered to her so that she can actually, you know, give those out to people or sell them back to people. The cool thing about this, too, if you look really close, you can see it's got a little slot for each one. So there's potatoes, there's wood, and there's potatoes again. You can see we actually have some more potatoes there. So maybe that'll help the people get more food. All right, planting season has begun. You can see I got a bunch of laborers available to work. So that's good. So you can see these people are just planting the hell out of these fields. And, you know, another thing, too, I forgot to mention. Each one of these has their own... order. So you can say, you know, like this one right here, I can move it up and say that it has a higher priority than these other fields. So I could say that these fields right here, these front four, get the highest priority. And since they're closest to the farm, they'll be done first. So they'll get the first planting and they'll get the first everything. So you can see they haven't gone out to the potatoes yet. Now, here's the deal. They might be able to do 4. They are not going to be able to do 8. So this is a test, right? And what I'll do is I'll see that they won't be able to do all of these fields before the snow hits. So what that means is I'll have to do a rotation, a better rotation than I have now, so that I know that I never have all of these things planted at the same time. So that'll be a little bit more difficult. Because you really need to do it in 3s, and that's why I had it in 3s before, right? So I might even have to add another farm on each one of these, or maybe one more. I'll have to think about that a little bit, but have to figure out where I can do, wheat, potato, empty, something like that, so that I just get the right ratio of the number of farms being planted so that they can get everything done. But it looks like they may have the planting done right at the beginning of April. Yeah, I mean, these are all sown fields at this point. They're really cranking it out, but they've got a pretty strong labor force to help them at the same time. While we're at it too, I can build a couple more buildings. I usually like to wait for this for winter because people that aren't actively working become laborers even if they have another job. So I am going to go ahead and build toward fishing, and so to do that I'm going to need a carpenter, and so I'll put the carpenter out here in this area. And that's his opening, that little triangular piece there. So I'll try to get him lined up here. And I know I'm going against my own rule about building on top of each other. These things are okay. This is my industry, so I think it'd be fine if they are right on top of each other. So we'll get that guy there too. And again, I don't have to put anybody in that job yet. Just have to build the building. And so with that in mind, I'm also going to do this. I'm going to go and build my boatyard right here. Actually right there, and I'm gonna build a fishing dock as well right here. Well, as soon as I can find some even terrain, which there's none of it. Okay, so right there we go. And so I'll get those guys starting to build that, because as these farms, right, these are all planted at this point. It's early April, mid-April. These are all planted fields. So these people now, these laborers, they don't have any work to do, so they can come out here and start working on this other stuff. So we'll get those things built up as well. We'll try to get some fish going. That'll be another food source for these people. But right now they're doing okay. I mean, they still got 30 potatoes. This person has potatoes left, and if you look at each one of the houses, they're all rocking the spuds. So everybody's got food, and that is good. As a matter of fact, since it's so good right now, let's throw in a couple more houses. Because as long as I can feed them, it doesn't bother me to have a larger population. You can see that my carpenter has arrived. You know what? How many people? God, I got a lot of people. A lot of job vacancies here. Let's see. Go ahead and do that. Got some laborers bringing stuff. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and hire this one, actually. It's a man-only job. You can see. Because I also, in this area, want to put one of these little cart things. And I'm going to need... I'll put it right in front of the warehouse. And I'm going to need to have a carpenter in order to build these. So I can say, build me 4 carts. And I think I only had 3 in this one. Build me another cart. So now this carpenter is going to start making carts for these different locations. And we'll go ahead and let this stuff get built up. Get toward harvesting season a little bit, because I think everything's going pretty good so far. All right, this neighborhood's getting pretty big, so I think it's time to give them a well over here, as well as a little market of their own. And that way, yeah, I'm facing it the right way. That way, they don't have to walk so far. This guy's going to do potatoes and firewood as well. It's going to be women only. And go ahead and bring all the stuff any way you can. So there you go. So far so good. Got our boat dock here. Almost done with our fishing hut. So we'll be able to hire some fishermen. And you can see I'm already stressing the labor market pretty well because I don't have a lot of laborers. Now this is one thing that's always confused me about this game. Population. You can see that I've got unemployment. Some, right? I've got some laborers here. It says that I have 20% unemployment, 16% men, 25% women. Okay, well, why aren't they all laborers? Right? I mean, I've got plenty of jobs going on right now. why are they not all working as laborers? I mean, everything's okay because I've got, most of my population has over 40, so it's not like I'm struggling or anybody's hurting, but it just seems like some people just don't want to work, and so they just don't. I don't have an explanation. All right, so you can see the harvest has begun. So this is the real question. It's August. Are we going to be able to get all of these fields done? You can see I've only got a couple laborers there. And my guess is no. I don't think I'm going to be able to get all of this done before the end of the season, especially right now, because I'm about to tax the hell out of this population. So I've got my boats here. I'm going to order some boats, but that means I'm going to have to hire this guy. And I'm going to have to hire some fishermen. Now, these are all men jobs. And this person is going to be able to sell fish. And this person is going to be able to sell fish as well. Not dried fish, that's something else later. We'll get to that. So we'll see about that population now. You can see I still have 25% unemployment, but I've got 39 job vacancies. I don't really understand that. Maybe it's because, a lot of them these are considered job vacancies at this point, but I don't know. You can see that we're already in September. We haven't even got to the potatoes yet, so this is going to be an issue. I don't think I'm going to be able to get a lot of those potatoes. I've still got a pretty good number of potatoes there, but you can see they're starting to get to them. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens here. Yeah, this is something I always run into, looking for laborers, and it's because I don't have enough population. It's fine, and I've really taxed it hard by adding all of these jobs and adding this job, and I added a job over here. It's just it's nuts. I don't have enough people. But again, you go to population, and it says that I've got 31 vacancies. Although now it's making a little bit more sense. My unemployment's down to 4%. Okay, so I've got to get these houses built. This stuff is not a priority at this point, so I'm going to drop him down. I'm just going to drop it down completely. I don't want those guys even working there, because I do want this one working here so that we can start turning this grain into wheat. You can see we're already in October and we still have not harvested all these fields. I thought this was going to be too much for them, but it's a learning curve, and this is the test. I'm pushing it as hard as I possibly can to see exactly how much they get done, because once December comes, it's going to come to snow, and everything that hasn't been pulled out of the ground is going to go away. Now, the stuff that's sitting on top of it is still usable. They can still grab it, but they're going to need a lot of people to do it, and they have to have it all collected before winter ends and March comes so they can start sowing these fields again. Now, if you go to the farm, you can see prioritize the gathering, so they'll stop harvesting and they'll just start taking the stuff back in. But again, I want to get the harvest done. It looks like we're going to be able to get the harvest done for sure. I don't think we'll be able to get all this stuff off the field before it snows, but maybe they'll be able to do it before the end of the season. And if they can get all of this stuff off the ground before it thaws and we can start replanting again, this might be a perfect setup. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Got another house here, so we got some more people coming in, and I need to build even more housing, to be honest. So I think I'm going to push it out this way this time. So we'll build a couple more houses here. This time I'm going to leave a road, a little way to pass through the neighborhood here. And if you hold down Shift, I believe, it won't attach, and you can get it closer. Oh, nope, Shift didn't do it. Control maybe? No, alternate? There you go, alternate. So see how I kind of leave that road there? So I'll do one there. Oh, I should have held Shift. Let's try to get these as straight as possible. So we'll build 4 houses here. There we go. So we'll get to building that. I mean, I don't have a lot of laborers right now. Looking for builders, looking for laborers, so it's going to be a struggle, but they will eventually get built. Like I said, right now my main priority are these fields right here. doing a pretty good job of it, but it's going to snow before they can get it all off the ground. All right, so the snow's here and they don't have it all off the ground, but I'll tell you what, they're doing a lot better than I thought, especially with the kind of restrictions on labor I have right now, where I don't have a lot of labor force. They're doing a pretty good job. I got a feeling they're going to be able to get all this stuff up before March. Well, I'll be damned. They're going to do it. It's not even the end of January, and they've done it. So that means if 2 of these is a full field, that means you can get 4 full fields out of 1 farm with 6 workers. So you could do 3 different crop types and leave 1 fallow and have a great crop rotation. And that is pretty good news. I don't know if different fields have different different times on how long it takes to actually harvest them or plant them or something like that, but man, so far, I mean, right now I've got 15 potatoes in there. I got 40 in there. 20 wheat. 17 wheat. I mean, it's just rocking and rolling. And this guy is making flour. So, moved in a couple more people here. Everything is going great. So, I learned a lot. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the episode. I'm about out of time. If you did, hit that like button, maybe subscribe. Tell your friends, leave a comment. Really appreciate all of it. Thank you for being here with me today. I hope you enjoyed it. Till next time, my name's Jehovah, and I'll catch you later. Goodbye.